Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how I took this simple 30-pound thrust trolling motor and turned it into a motor that you could use on basically any kayak. So hit the subscribe button and stay tuned. Alright, so I'm over here at my bench, my very messy bench. I have tons of stuff that I do on here. That's a crazy new bait right there. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's like a fish head with a spinner on the back called an afterburner, but just the injured way it swims looks amazing. Also, the guys that are here from Facebook, if you guys don't mind signing in and just hit the subscribe button, that'd be great. A lot of you guys are here from Facebook and you're not logged in, and so you guys aren't commenting, aren't subscribed, or haven't hit the like button. But anyway, so this is my motor here. I always like to put a rudder on the motor. I've seen the difference in the turning, and it's so noticeable that I always make sure I have it on there. Now, if you want to see the video of how I'm raising and lowering this, it'll be a couple videos back, but you'll see it on there. And I know a lot of people ask what length to cut the shaft, and I don't know where a lot of people are measuring from, but I'll give you the measurement on this one. Everyone's is different, and so you don't want to cut it so short that you're not able to put something up high enough to be able to pull the motor up if that's the way you're doing it. If you're just pulling it up vertically, then you could do it any way you want. But so for me, on my motor, I have a 13.5 Feelfree kayak, and the way that I have the mount and everything, this is the way that I'm doing it, although you may have to adjust yours. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure from the top part right here. There's like a little collar there up to the very top of the shaft, and you can see 24.5. So I don't know if people are measuring the whole motor sometimes or what, but so that's the measurement of mine, so 24.5. I also have the steering triangle on here. I believe that's Yak Attack or Yak Gadget. I don't really remember, but and then the locking mechanism here, I've already showed that on a couple videos back, so make sure you check that out. Now, once you get this to this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get the shaft cut. And once you get the shaft cut, well, the way you want to do it is you're going to want to get like a half-inch or so pipe to put these wires in, and then shove the pipe down into the shaft here. And that way, when you make your cut around, you're not cutting your wires. And you can get like a copper cutter, and that should really, really help keep it so that way you can just be cutting the shaft and not the cable. All right, so now again, this is a 30-pound thrust, and so the shaft size might be different for a 55 depending on what who you go through and what you get. But once you get to that point, you're gonna put the other two wires inside, and you're only going to be using the red and the black. And this is what I use, so I connect it to here, and then this connection here plugs into my kayak. And I know a lot of people don't like these connections, but I've had no issues with it at all. So now some of the motors have a piece like this that you could use to finish off the top, and so I'll put all the parts that I've used down in the description, so that way you guys can just go down there and check it out, click the link, and it'll take you right to which ones I've bought. But you're going to have to take something, a razor knife or something, and knock down some of these threads here. And then that way, when this goes into there, it'll fit in the shaft, because the regular threads won't fit in there unless you thread the inside of the shaft. And it's like fiberglass, I believe, so I'm not trying to do that. And then so that right there could be all you need right there, and finish it off right there and be done. And then for here, you can get that cable wrap that wraps, and it looks really good. It stays wrapped up like that. And I'll put that stuff down below too, because that's how I finish this off. I just don't know where that piece is right now. So another way to finish this off that I like better is this piece here. You can contact somebody that does 3D printing, and I believe this came from a website called Thingiverse, I believe. If you can't find it, I'm sure I can dig it up for you. But this is a piece that I use, and you just feed the wires up through there, like so. So let's get the. Sometimes you got to bend the end there to get it out of there. All right, so then once both are through, you can go ahead and put this on here. You can put it on with a screw here, drill a hole through there. Put like an awl or something through there and separate the wires before you just go drilling. Or you can epoxy it on, which is a pretty good idea too. But for now, I'm just going to put this in there just to keep it from spinning on me while I do the rest of this stuff here. So you get to that point and still, the wires, move around and stuff like that. Eventually, that's, might not be a good idea. So I came up with this idea to put these on here, but the one that I got, which is right here. So this is the other one here. NPT half-inch strain relief cable gland, and then this is a 1/4-inch strain relief cable gland. Now you can put this in there, but it's just very loose, but you could epoxy it on if you wanted to and not worry about it at all. But I didn't know if I was going to need to work on it or not, and so what I decided to do is get a 1/4-inch gland nut right here and stick the wires through. Just like that. And if you put like a lubricant on here, it slides so much better. Otherwise, it's a pain in the butt to get it on there. Okay, so that's in there right there, just like that. And so again, I'm gonna just put some epoxy around the threads here and put it on right there like that. And then you can take this piece here and completely screw it off there, just like that. And then you'll take this cap and glue it right in here, and you can see where we got like the ridges here and here. It pushes right in there perfectly, just like that. So now you probably don't even need to use epoxy. You just shove it in there really hard. It's not going to go anywhere. But you could put a dab of epoxy in there if you wanted to. Shove the wires through. Get in there. This is the part that a little harder to get the wires through because of that gland nut there, but it's not too tough if you do them one by one. Alright, so now this piece will go right over there. Twist it on. And now it looks like that with a nice finish. And then again, we'll get the cable cover on here that spins around, and it stays rigid like that. It's not like an actual tape, it's kind of just like a wrap. And like I said, I don't have that package or that piece on me. I don't know where that piece is, but like I said, I'll put down in the description below, and you'll see a really good way to wrap this part here to finish it off. All right, so I mean, that's pretty much it. Run this to, here, and I'll show you over here how I have the mount. All right, so as far as the mount goes, I just took a, Hey, after you guys are done watching the video, head over to yakrods.com and pick up some of their gear. They got really nice hats with the venting on the side, snapback. They got the nice jerseys with the hoodie, nice sun shirts, really high quality. They got other stuff too, you know, face buffs, and go check out their rods. This one I hear is the 7.2 extra heavy cover. It's called the Feast. So one of my favorite rods right here. Go check them out. Use my code BassAngler10 for 10% off. Thanks. Oh, the mount that goes to the 30-pound thrust motor, and I cut it. See if I can get a better shot for you guys here. And what I did is I cut it, and there's this metal piece right up under here that I screwed to the top of here. I could find that piece if you need it, but it's just, and I can get the dimensions for you and stuff too, but it's basically the same width as the mount here. And you'll just cut the mount right up here, right along here, and then you'll run screws straight here, and this big one here goes through the handle that's on the Feelfree back there, like where you mount the you can see the bolt there, where you mount the beaver tail. And so, you know, that's on there really well. And then you run your bolts here. And what I did is I cut an access hatch here. And I have a video of that too, where you can kind of scroll back in the videos and it'll show you the access hatch that I cut in and how I did it. And it'll allow you to reach your hand up under there so you can get put like a plate or some big washers on the back side of these bolts. I have a plate back there, so that way it's on this piece right here that was made to be mounted to. Feelfree knew that you were going to be mounting to that. But the motor here has this pin. You pull this pin right here, just like that, and drop that down in here. And again, the motor lift, I have a video on the motor lift. And so you're just going to drop that right down in there. And just going to line up that hole. Pin goes right in. Put that in there so it doesn't go nowhere. But it makes it to where this right here allows it to go up and down once you have it hooked up the way that I have it on the video. But now that that's all hooked up, you're good to go. And again, you know, this just goes onto here. I had to take it off to show you the different ways to finish this top here off. But right here, and it plugs right in, and then the power, you know, goes through the kayak to the battery. So that's it right there. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, leave them below, but it's pretty straightforward. I see the question all the time asking about the motor, so instead of constantly digging for someone else's video, I figured just show you one of mine. So that's about it, you guys. Take it easy and catch some fish.